Last week, we had a conversation that I think made a lot of vision therapy doctors uncomfortable because we asked a very simple question. What happens if your VT practice has no buyer? And I think a lot of us assumed that because we built successful practices, we automatically build assets. But those are not always the same thing. Last week, we talked about a lot about methodology, about how the real value inside your practice is not the Brock string, Marsden ball, worksheets, activities. It's your thinking. It's how you explain things, how you sequence treatment, how you troubleshoot, how you motivate patients, how you know when someone is about to hit a wall. That's the real value. That's what patients are actually coming to you for. That's why they want you, not just vision therapy, you specifically. But that creates a really difficult reality because if the entire value of your practice lives inside your head, what exactly are you selling someday? If every difficult case depends on you, every therapist needs your interpretation, every patient wants your reassurance, every decision runs through you, then what happens when you stop working? And honestly, I think this is where a lot of vision therapy practices are right now. They're incredible practices. They change lives, but structurally, they're personality practices. And listen, a personality practice can be absolutely amazing. It can be meaningful, profitable, fulfilling, but that does not automatically make it an asset because an asset is something that survives beyond you, transfers beyond you, continues generating value beyond your physical schedule. And I think that one big shift that's happening in vision therapy right now is that we've built really, really great jobs and not assets. And we can't sell a job, we can only sell assets. And that's why practices aren't getting sold. We're starting to realize this though. We're starting to realize that being really good clinically is not the same as building something transferable. And this matters when we look at what's happening across the field. Practices are just closing. New grads are hesitant to go into vision therapy. Families are more overwhelmed than ever. And accessibility is becoming one of the defining issues of the next decade. So the question becomes, if fewer doctors are entering vision therapy and more practices are dependent on one person, what happens long term? What happens to all the patients who still need help? Because the truth is, this isn't just a business conversation anymore. It's a sustainability conversation for practices, for doctors, for the field itself. And I think that's why methodology matters so much. Because once your methodology is extracted, structured, documented, and repeatable, now the value is no longer trapped inside your schedule or your head. And that's when therapist consistency improves and patient guidance improves, scalability improves, and transferability improves. And eventually, the practice itself becomes more valuable. And this is exactly what we're diving into tonight. Our next webinar is called How Much is Your VT Practice Worth? And honestly, this is going to be much more workshop style. So come ready to go. We're really going to dive in. We're going to talk about what actually creates practice value, what buyers look for, why some practices are sellable and others aren't, and how methodology impacts value. And then what we're looking at is making sure that you're building a transferable asset and not just a meaningful job. Because at the end of the day, most doctors don't want to spend decades building something meaningful only to realize it retires when they do. If this conversation resonates with you, join us tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The link to register is below. And this is, like I said, where we're really going to dig in into what creates long-term value in a vision therapy practice, because the future of this field depends on what we build next. So let's get building.